evening. Welcome. Thank you. Welcome to the SMA State of the South monthly series launch. We will begin hopefully right at 6:35 p.m. Eastern. We welcome you to get settled, enjoy some music, grab some libation, and the offerings that'll be shared in chat as you arrive.
That's going to teach us about the prominence of Ella Baker. Big Frida!
Ella Baker was a bad girl.
Story of Ella Baker.
Ella Baker, Ella Baker.
Story of Ella Baker.
Ella Baker, Ella Baker, Ella
This is
Baker.
the story of Ella Baker.
Baker.
This is the story of Ella Baker. Ella Baker had to shake it up.
Shake it up, shake it up.
Ella Baker had to wake it up.
Wake 'em up, wake 'em
Cause
up
if you
now.
know this life is tough enough,
Tough enough.
Ella taught us how to break it up.
Ooh, break it up now, break it up now. Ella Baker shaker, Ella Baker shaker, Ella Baker shaker, shaker. Ella Baker shaker, Ella Baker shaker, Ella Baker shaker. Ella Baker shake it down now. Ella Baker shake it round, shake it down now. Ella Baker shake it down now. Ella Baker shake it round, shake it down now. Ella Baker shake it down now. Ella Baker shake it round, shake it down now. Ella Baker shake it down now. Ella Baker shake it round, shake it down
Ella
now.
Baker had to shake it up.
Shake it up, Ella, shake it up.
Ella Baker had to wake it up.
Ooh, wake 'em up, wake 'em
Cause
up.
if you know this life is tough enough, Ella taught us how to break
She got to
it
break it
up.
up, break it up. Ella Baker had to shake it up, teach him up, toughen up, twerk it up. Breaking it, shaking it, overtaking it, baking it. Never, ever letting people mistaking it. Cause we popping and stopping it, whopping and dropping it. It's the center of my joy, so we mopping it. Cause we popping and stopping it, whopping and dropping it. It's the center of my joy, so we mopping it. Oh, Ella. Oh, Ella. Ooh, Ella.
Ella Baker had to shake it up. Ella Baker had to wake it up. Cause if you know this life is tough enough, Ella taught us how to break it up.
Ella Baker.
All right. Now that's one way to wake you up. If you weren't quite awake at 6:30, by 6:34, you were wide awake. Come through Ella Baker and Big Frida. Thank y'all so much for being here tonight. Good evening and welcome again to the Southern Movement Assembly State of the South call. Please note that we do not have our language justice team on tonight's call, but ensure that we are trying to get the language justice needs met for future calls. My name is Wendy Schoenfeld. I use she and her pronouns. I am a member of Alternate Roots and on the Southern Movement Assembly Governance Council. I'll be one of your hosts for the evening. Welcome you to engage in the chat by answering the check-in question if that got dropped in. And we're going to go through a few of the logistics for the evening while folks check in via chat. So these calls are recorded and shared with SMA members and participants on this call. So if you registered for the call, you will receive a copy of this recording. If you would like for your video to not be recorded, then we welcome you to close your video and just have your profile name up or whatever you choose. We're excited to share this space with some familiar and some new faces. I think we had 100+ people registered for this call, 100+ registered for this call. So it's great to be back with you. We are invite the new folks to join a very brief breakout orientation. So when the call goes for breakout members, for the new members to go to the breakout, that's where y'all will go, just for a quick orientation, and then you're going to join us back. Please do stay muted unless you're speaking to avoid any sound interference. And then if you need support via tech, A lot of us aren't necessarily, haven't necessarily been on Zoom as much recently and may need a little refresher. So look for anybody who has tech assigned as their name and reach out to them and they will help you with that. Are we ready for breakout for the new members?
Yes, it is going to be one of those things where I'm going to open the room, and if you are new to the Southern Movement Assembly, you will join the room. If you are not new, if you know the deal, then you'll stay in the main room. Is that clear? We'll try this. We're going to try.
It's a new thing. It's a new
thing. And it's only going to be about 5 minutes. So we're going to do it right now. I'm about to open the room, and y'all will join if you are wanting to be part of the orientation.
Thank you, Lou. I appreciate you. If you don't see the breakout, if you're on your computer, if you look at the bottom of your Zoom screen, there should be a join breakout. If you're on your phone, it may pop up on your phone and you can click that if you'd like to have the new orientation. And while our new folks are getting settled over there, I'm going to toss it to our team to do the grounding in our body, moment, and movement.
Hello, good evening, you guys. My name is Paul Newman, here representing Spirit House South and City of Durham, North Kakalaki. Yeah, wanted to take a moment to do some grounding work with you guys. So, in this moment, please put your feet flat on the floor if you can. Put your back straight, shoulders relaxed, and lower your gaze as you're ready, and just breathe with me as I say a couple of things. To bring attention as you're breathing to your feet and your roots. Bring attention to the edges of your body. Feel the contraction and the expansion with every breath that you take. This body is our place of boundaries and connections. So many of us have been conditioned to be small and to shrink and to not take up too much space for our own safety. I want us to take this moment to breathe deeply and fill out your edges. Breathe deeply and fill out the fullness of you. Take up the space that is yours to take. Just take a couple deep breaths. And as we're ready, raise your gaze, open your eyes slowly. And in this moment, we also want to give a moment of silence to one of our heavyweights whom we all know we lost earlier this year, and that's Cedar Cook. So before I pass it back to the team to continue, just wanted to offer this moment of silence. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you to everyone in all your capacity for showing up this evening to the first call of the year. So it is March, right? We've skipped a couple of months. We have not seen some of you all. This may be the first time, or we haven't seen you since December. So I'm going to do my best in about 3 to 5 minutes to sum up the arc of the year. You know, what have we been doing? How did we get to this point, and where are we headed? So, as some of y'all may be aware, 2023, we took a moment of rest, and we called it the solstice year 2023. And so this was an opportunity and a turning point in the 10-year legacy of the Southern Movement Assembly. And so together with members like yourself, different organizers, we all came together from the US and the Global South to make a commitment to expand, to renew our purpose, and then commit to taking collective action together. And so we practiced this solstice year through sessions, listening and learning sessions, where we invited members to share some of your best practices. We also created kickback sessions with the staff organizers like myself and Lou Murray. And then we combined that all in a synthesis of our lessons and presented that back to you in December. And we told y'all that we were going to start this year making sure that we took those recommendations, that advice, those hard lessons, and we put them into motion. And so that brings us here tonight for our first monthly State of the South call. And so as y'all know, we had the General Membership Assembly calls. Well, this is a revamping of those calls. This is rooted in the historic legacies of the South and is a space where we can come together to assess where we are in the political moment, for us to workshop tactics towards the implementation of shared strategies, to practice leadership development, and to build transformative relationships through the centering of healing and joy. Ultimately, we want to use this space together to carry out the SMA action plan by making sure that we have space for political framing, for engagement, and then make sure we have a clear invitation for y'all to take action alongside us. And so 2 benchmarks that I want to name for this year, and go ahead and get your pen and paper out because there's going to be some dates just to keep in mind. One of the big benchmarks for this year is the annual Summer of Assemblies. And if you got to participate in the Summer of Assemblies last year, as that was our first kickoff, definitely let us know in the chat if you're returning back doing a Summer of Assembly this year. And if you're new to it, just to sum it up, the Summer of Assemblies is a strategy for us to build grassroots power across the South. And we do this by utilizing the People's Movement Assembly process as a vehicle to bring communities together and to grapple with the ever-evolving political landscape and identify root causes of shared challenges, and then to chart out our visions for liberation. And so this year, 2024, the Summer of Assemblies is going to kick off from June to September. And so folks are going to get together in your crew. You're going to create an assembly focusing on one or multiple front lines. And then from those assembly members who participate, you're going to choose 2 representatives, and we're going to invite you to participate and organize alongside us at SMA 11. An important date for that, that's going to be September 26th through the 29th. Okay. So if you already know a crew, if you're already dreaming it up, definitely make sure you get involved with the Summer of Assembly so that you can get that golden ticket to SMA 11. Okay. And following this, y'all, we will send out a big graphic that kind of explains the ebbs and flows of where we are going this year. So I'm going to pass it over to beautiful co-host, Natalie Nia, so that y'all can get an opportunity to get to know each other.
Thank you, Ayana, for that beautiful, beautiful framework. What's good, y'all? I'm Natalie Nia Park. I'm with Alternate Roots from Louisiana, but right now I'm all up in the Carolinas. So I'm like, yeah. We know the most important thing, y'all, is kind of knowing who's on the call, connecting with each other, and just having more time to share the work, the strategies, and what's happening across our region, right? And so what we thought made the most sense for us to do would be do some story sharing between each other. And so a quick little framework for the story sharing is that each person is going to get 2 minutes. And we know story sharing historically is something that we've done to pass down strategy, to pass down medicine, to pass down stories and culture. And my particular framework comes from John O'Neill and Junebug Productions. But we're going to allow it to be open and expensive however you want. And so the big question is, remember, everyone gets 2 minutes because we want all the homies to get the time, right? The big question is, what's happening on the ground in the South for you in your work? And if you need any more framing around that, Southerners on Your Ground gives a perfect framework. What's happening in your world around the land, around your bodies, the body's autonomy, around the spirit, and around your work. So the political work, your passionate work, or your personal work. So just again, we'll break off into breakout groups. Each homie gets 2 minutes to share. And the big theme question is what's happening in the South. And if you need a deeper dive or something to jump off from, think about what's happening in terms of land, your body autonomy, spirit, and of course, work, whether it's the politics, the passions, or the personal. So y'all, the important thing, again, is to hear what's happening, to share stories, to support and love on each other, and to come back a little bit more connected. So we'll allow folks to break off. You get your 2 minutes and then actively listen as best as you can. And we'll see you on the other side. Never enough time, huh? When you have a lot of brilliance in the space, you have a lot of wisdom, when you have a lot of shared strategy, there's just never enough time. That just means y'all got to come back next month. That's all I'm saying. Come back and share some more, love on each other some more, affirm each other some more, bring each other into growth some more. I'm curious, before we transition into our like loving departure, people can throw down in the chat, people can come off mute, maybe we'll take one or two. What are some of the big through lines? What are some things that felt like shared experiences? Or actually, is there anything that surprised you or that struck you that you want to share from your breakout groups? And people can either throw down in the chat or people can come off mute. What was that experience like for folks?
I think one of the common things, at least in our group, is it just brings so much awareness that no matter where you are at, in what state you are located, or what type of region or rural area, the upper elite is trying to suppress voters. They are scared for people to have their voting rights because they will lose their positions.
Ashe, yeah, I think our group ended up, Steph G like really gave it like state repression is a real thing and it's happening in so many different ways and places. But particularly around who we get to pick particularly in who we get to pick to make our laws and lead us and create the containers in which we have to live in. Thank you for that. Maybe we'll take one more, comrade. Anyone wants to come off mic and share a little nugget?
I'll drop a nugget. How y'all doing this evening? Chris Battle, Taproot Earth. One of the through lines with us, I think, is whether it's profits over people or just willing to put poor, Black, brown, and indigenous people in harm's way. Helen mentioned a plant in Brunswick, Georgia, that I think it was several hours after there had been a big plume coming from the plant before they notified the community of the true hazard of the pine resin plant that was causing an environmental hazard. So again, but it was Black, brown, poor communities that were most impacted and the least informed.
Thank you for uplifting that. Wow. Oof. Speaking that, yeah, that can be pacified and people can hold space for the healing of their people. Yeah. Naming that how they try and, excuse my like French, but fuck over Black and brown people when it comes to their land and their health and those intersections. Thank you for uplifting that, Taproot. We have time for maybe 2 or 3 more, and feel free to come off and interrupt me, but while I'm waiting for folks to share that beautiful wisdom, I'm going to just go through and read some of the things in the chat. Okay. Is it Bassie? You loved your group combo. It was healing. We love to hear that. We love to see wholeness coming from this space. Steph G, Ashang, voter repression across the South. And Steph G coming with the double brilliance, state repression and state violence being legislated against movements, immigrants, trans youth, parents. Yes, so many across the world, right? In our breakout room, there was some speaking around how nationally women in rural areas, queer folks across the world were being harmed and legislated against and repressed by the state. We got some love for Taproot. Y'all know we love y'all. Some ashing and reaffirming the things that Taproot shared. Yes, the through line was Gaza, clear expression of drive toward fascism, excuse me here, but also strong, broad support for cease and desist, Ashe. Seasons of to the work. We may show up differently come on, Ada. Yes, different times, but importance of staying involved, right? Yes, so it's important to know that like you don't always have to be on the front lines. Sometimes we need you to make a few sandwiches, you know? Sometimes we need you just to send an email. Sometimes we need you at the front lines so that there are different seasons and different ways in which you show up for the work. Shout out to the Southerners on the Ground Almanac for giving us one framework in which we can move through a year and maybe not move through a year. A through line for us, this is from Paul, a through line from us was a need and thirst for work around food insecurity and urban farming. Ashe, we feed our people. We teach each other how to grow. Thank you, Paul. Ruben is lifting up some racism on the rise and fascism as well. Another through line we're seeing is clarifying our fault lines versus white supremacy. PG, I'm curious, could you speak a little bit more to that? And if not, totes no worries. And Shavia, hey boo! Fascism, sorry, this is not a like lighthearted thing, but I'm just excited to see your name. Fascism and racism on the rise. But oh, this is a good thing. But strong fight back building. Yeah, we are building power. It's all good, PG. Yeah. Despite what we see happening across the region, across the world, the global south, we know that we're doing our damn thing. We're coming together, we're building, we're learning from each other, we're growing our deepening our analysis, and our strategies are always shifting and ever-changing, baby. And more, including building our own power, learning how to feed each other, learning how to feed our own spirits, learning how to take care of ourselves. Y'all, please keep dropping that in the chat. At the top of the call, Steph said, like, share us your victories too. We want to know, where are you winning? We do want to know what's popping off, but we also want to know, how do we celebrate? We also know, what should we be celebrating? I know each and every day we come through. I'm seeing this cute little pink, double pink shirt. Veronica, I'm seeing the pink agenda. That's the reason to celebrate, right? I'm seeing so many reasons to celebrate just looking across my screen and reading this chat. And so in the spirit of celebration, y'all, we want y'all to come back next month. And even more so, we want y'all to think about, how can y'all stay connected to the SMA? There's a whole summer of assemblies popping off. We would love for y'all to be involved. And Wendy's also going to share with y'all a few different ways in which you can stay involved. And yeah, thanks for sharing your stories. So, you know, some of the most important things that we'll have. And with that, beloved,
you want to read these last few?
Oh, yes, for sure,
More.
for sure.
Yeah, let's just uplift them for folks who are on the phone, and then I'll close us out.
Ashe. So building and strength, yeah, we're building and strengthening our relationships. So just sent out the 2,000 tree. Oh my God. So yes, Jonathan, y'all better. So we just got 2,000 trees sent out as gifts to our nurseries to land back efforts, cooperative farms and movement groups. We are repopulating the earth with the trees, darling. I love to see it. We know that fascism, racism, violence are mental issues for sure. Come on, call it like you see it, Carolyn. How are we staying connected, y'all? It's a good question. Oh, and PG, here's some context, right? So had an anti-Blackness emerged clearly in our municipal politics, but that led to consolidation to push against it. So where are the fault lines? Okay, gotcha. And where's white supremacy happening? And whenever we notice that it's white supremacy, we come together and we push back against that as a group of people. The diversity of organizers is growing, and they're showing so much solidarity against issues that oppress us all. Ashe, ashe. GSO Mutual Aid just launched its second Freedom Fridge. Hey, where are you located at? Because like, y'all make sure y'all stock that fridge up. Shafia is saying we're struggling to build fight back liberation orgs and people's, yes, Ashe, and people's, liberation orgs and institutions, union victory starting to spread people's libraries, collecting farming systems, independent political committees, international solidarity. Greensboro, hey, y'all make sure y'all fill up that fridge. Put some food in that fridge. Class struggle is rising. Also, just renaming what Shafi is saying, y'all, we are still building out our work. And when they're trying to kick our books and our stories out of the library, when they're trying to tell us we can't transition, when they're trying to tell us we can have access to our body autonomy, we are literally finding ways in our own community to answer those things directly, address them too. So shout out to the collecting farming systems, to the independent political committees, to international solidarity, because what's more important, and to people's libraries. Palestinian struggle has pulled off the emperor's cloak. How? How about it? Always find a way. Yeah, shared history is always finding a way. Thank you, Tori. Transforming shipping containers into homes for the homeless. Come on. I am seeing solutions. I am seeing visionary ways to be. That's what the SMA is all about, y'all. Please don't hesitate to drop some more solutions, some more stories in the chat. It's giving me so much life. to read the ways that which we're finding alternatives. So yeah, state repression, cute, whatever, y'all cute. We turning things into homes, honey. We building farms, we feeding our people. We're stocking that fridge in Greensboro is what we're doing, darling. So do what you want, state. And with that, loves, thanks for sharing your stories, and I'll pass it to you, Wendy.
Thank you, Natalie Nia. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. So just to recap, what did we do tonight? So first, we brought that energy of Ella Baker and Big Frida, shook a little something to get us energized and just to celebrate that joy of being back together. We got grounded in our breath, body, and our work, and gave a beautiful shout out to Arcita Cook. We briefly reviewed what we've done through the SMA has done through the solstice season. And then tonight we launched the newly revamped monthly State of the South calls. In those State of the South calls, they're going to be rooted in our history. This is going to be our space to assess where we are in this political moment, to workshop tactics, share strategy, and develop leadership. The State of the South calls is where we're going to build transformative relationships through centering of collective healing. And that last part that is so important that sometimes we get on these calls and forget, and joy. This is our place to practice governance in real time through the work of our SMA multi-year action plan. And this is where we're doing political framing, engagement, and this is our invitation to action. So if you're looking for all those things, this is where you're going to come each month. So we also had more time together. That's what people asked for. I think that was the number one thing that people asked for during the survey we did at the end of the year last year, which was more time together to learn about each other, to build relationships through talking about our work. And this month's question was, what's happening on the ground in the South through the lens of land, body, spirit, and work. So as we're leaving today, and we're going to try to hold to our time, we're doing great on time, of 1 hour calls, because we know everybody's really busy. And so we're going to try to hold to our 1 hour calls. So to be able to close this out on time, we've got a couple of invitations. We have an invitation for you to join the Freedom and Survival School work team. The first meeting is happening April 4th. What is the Freedom and Survival School work team? You can show up and find out, or you can email and get a little more information first. It's April 4th, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and you can contact organize at southtosouth.org. And if we can drop that email in the chat as well. We also want to do something that I don't do, but we're going to invite you to do it. And that is, if you would like another way to stay in contact, join SMA on our Discord channel. Now, I can't do it. My eyes are old. I can't do it's too many like things moving around. It's dark. So I leave that to other people whose brains work differently than mine, but it is a place for folks to go and have conversations in a different way. So the Discord channel, if you don't know what Discord is, ask somebody. Can they email organize at southtosouth.org to ask about Discord? You could Google it, but it's also nicer just to hear it from one of our staffers. It is, let me use that. It's used for alternative gathering space and to have topics of discussion in a different way. All right, so that's the Discord channel. And then our next State of the South call. It's when? The last Wednesday of every month. Well, most months. Definitely next month. Definitely next month. So the last Monday of the month. And if we can drop in the link to register for that call. And if for some reason you get busy, you're on vacation, you're having some joyful moments, if you register for the call, you will get a recording of the call. So I think that's all the announcements. I'm looking at Ayana, who keeps me on time and with all the information. All right. All right. So thank y'all again for joining us tonight. We look forward to everyone being back. Invite some friends. When? Next month, last Wednesday, 6:30 Eastern. See y'all then. Bye, y'all.
give the people. Now, give people what they want. Well. Don't you know you got to give the people? Give people what they want.
Hey, Steve.
Well, I done been all over the world, and everybody feels the same. It's a unanimous decision. I said we're ready for change. Yeah. Don't you know you give the people? Give it up. Give people what they want. Well, don't you know you just oughta give the people? Well, give people what they want. Well, it's about time for things to get better. We want the truth, and no more lies. We want freedom, justice, and equality. I want it for you, and I want it for me. You got to give the people. Give it up. Give people what they want. Don't you know? Don't you know? You got to give the people. Give it up. Give people what they want. Yeah. You have to give the people. Give it up. Give people what they want. You better. Don't you know you got to give the people. Give it up. Give people what they want. Don't you know that you just give people what they want? Give what they want. You better.
Okay, that's really it. Thanks, y'all. We're really going to go now. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We love you.